Sometimes all it takes is one spark to ignite a whole movement of kindness. Natasha Rockstrom is one such person who understood that spreading compassion is universal and powerful. What started off as a business school social experiment led to showing society a new way of living and being. Having lived in London, Stockholm, California, Montreal, Oman, Natasha now lives in Dubai and spreading the message of love, joy, and random acts of kindness. By creating a chain reaction, Natasha has touched so many lives across the world. It's my complete delight to have her with me in the studio today, talking about how she found her true calling. You are a social entrepreneur, and giving back is really a huge part of who you are. Was it a big part of your childhood days too?
100%, absolutely. I was raised in a family where giving was just part of what we would do. My mom, actually, I would say, I saw her through all different ways give back. It could have been through her words. And how she spoke to people around her. It could have been, offering someone a meal who needed it. It was in big ways as well. She actually was part of starting a safe women's home, a battered women's shelter. We started the first thrift store, actually, where we lived and where we grew up. We were always brought up to feel that we were so blessed with everything that we had, and we were so grateful for that. And when you're in that space of gratitude and abundance, you just naturally, it overflows.
Right.
So when you're around someone and you just look at them and go, I can do something. And it could be something small, just offering them, a cold drink that you have an extra one with you, and it makes a difference to them. And you see how it also makes a difference to you as well. So when I was studying, actually, I always took time out during the week. I volunteered at orphanages, or I volunteered at shelters when I was going to university, and it was just part of what I was going to do that week.
So tell my viewers a little more about various projects that you're involved in, how they started, and how you are basically continuing with them.
When you ask about education, there's a great moment for me, because I was studying an MBA in finance, and it was a 2-year course, and I was asked to do a reflection on my education with a group of colleagues. And we were all actually, I was the youngest in the class. I was 26, and the average age was actually 46 in the MBA program.
Wow.
So professional people who are decision makers, and we were talking about, finance, money, and resources that you have to make a change in your life. And I asked this question, is that, what do we have that we can give away for free? And how do we in our organizations start to think like that, so that we create activities that we can do? So we came up with this idea of, why don't we sell some t-shirts to our colleagues at school, and why don't we use that money to buy fruit that we would take down to a fruit market in the city of Stockholm, and we would offer this fruit for free to those that were passing by who have a long commute, or students that are perhaps studying and could need an extra boost. And we were going to say, you can buy fruit and you can pay with a hug.
Right.
So we stood there, these MBA students, all gung-ho about finance and money, and we were going, buy fruit and pay with a hug. And it was an incredible day, because what we did is we invited high schools to join us in the activity as well. So we had these young students who were volunteering their day to be with us and sell fruit, and have these big signs that say, buy a banana, pay with a hug. And the impact of that day was that years later, we still get letters from parents, as well as from those who participated, and say, I still think about how I can give every day. And I still think about the things that maybe I can give for free that don't cost me anything, but that I can still do. And there was an 11-year-old boy who met with an 80-year-old woman on the street that day. And she said to him, my family lives so far away from me, and I haven't been hugged in a really long time. And we have this beautiful moment of this 11-year-old boy who was able to give this hug to this woman, and it really changed her day.
Absolutely. Everything that you do in life is pretty much your belief that a small act of kindness can really bring about big changes.
I really believe that. I live by that as well. I believe that every small act of kindness has ripple effects that change the world. And they could be kind words, or they could be a small act that you do. And I hear this question, you know, how do you start giving? Or, you know, people have these big ideas, and I really believe that ordinary people can create extraordinary change. And you'll start to notice how you change in your everyday and how you realize that you have so much power in you to make change.
I would really like my viewers to know a little more about Karma Kitchen. That's
Yes.
a project that really feels filled with love.
It really is, because Karma Kitchen is a place to experiment about love, experiment with love. So we launch it every season, and it's about people like you and me going down to a restaurant where we actually greet the people who are coming to dine at the restaurant. We serve them, we talk and converse with them, and we say we're here in volunteering from our space of love to serve you with love. And there are no prices on the menu today, so we're asking you to pay it forward and pay as much as you feel. And it's incredible because Karma Kitchen it's a volunteer-run kitchen. It's volunteers that are taking time out to serve you and feed you with love, not only your body, but also your mind and your soul. And the conversations and the ripples that happen from Karma Kitchen are amazing. We had a mother and her son who came down to Karma Kitchen, and they wrote us a letter later and said that her son had never been more inspired in his life, and he'd like to come down and volunteer at Karma Kitchen on our next round. He came down and he was speaking to a waiter at Karma Kitchen who was in the kitchen itself cooking the meal. And he said to the waiter that I'm not playing PlayStation today because I want to be here and serve people at Karma Kitchen. That waiter and that young man joined us at our next Karma Kitchen. So the waiter, who does this for a living, was so inspired that a young teenager took time out to do something that he does every single day and join us together to serve others with love. So these are the ripples of Karma Kitchen, and we hear how they inspire people in their everyday life and not just at Karma Kitchen. So we're very excited to always bring Karma Kitchen to Dubai.
How can everyone be a part of it?
So you can actually log on to thegoodwilltribe.com, and you will find Karma Kitchen activities. So the Goodwill Tribe are two young social innovators, Chandni and Sonia, who are, it's an organization that I mentor and who run the Karma Kitchen here in the UAE. So you can log on there, leave your interest to volunteer, or find out when the next Karma Kitchen is and come down and join us.
How would you like to touch more lives?
Well, we're actually launching what I'm really excited about. It's called Rainbow One. It's an educational platform, and it's education from the soul. So we're bringing events and education for youth or anyone who's really looking to make a change in their lives. We're bringing together wisdom teachers from around the world, new techniques, new age science, and we're creating both experiential wisdom and also courses in education that you can start to build the skills for you to get more in touch with a different type of knowledge and education, to cultivate virtues in your life, and to really start to know who do you want to be and how do you need to act in order to become that person.
This is the year of giving in UAE, and as you said, a lot of people want to know and always asking this question to themselves: how do we start and how do we really make a difference? And as you said, that even a small act of kindness is an act of giving. So I really want to know from my viewers, how do we start? Where do we start that? Where do we have that perspective from, and how do we really begin to do it?
You know, kindness is so much fun. And I think the first thing is to know that make it fun. Start where it feels like it's joyful for you to give. And it could even be with the loved ones around you. Think of how you can surprise them in small ways. maybe needs that they have that you haven't had the time or the effort to be able to do something for them. And it's really in those small moments where you show somebody that you've thought about them. So, even leaving a small Post-it for someone in their lunchbox or in their packed lunch when they go to work, or being able to say, can I make you an extra cup of coffee when they least expect it? Mm-hmm. Doing things that remind people of how important they are to you is kindness as well. And I think the other thing is start with being kind to yourself. And allow that time to reflect on how much you appreciate who you are and the journey that you've taken to get to who you are today. And I love to, journal this down and remind people that to write down their achievements or write down the small ways that they're grateful for their life.
And loving yourself is a big step towards really giving, I feel.
When you love yourself, it's natural to give. It's less conscious and more natural. When you're in this place of that, you look at children, and I'm sure whether it's your teenage kids or your young kids around you, when they're in that space of they're just feeling fun and joyful, they'll do things naturally for their friends or for their their teachers or their parents, and they'll come and give you a hug when you least expect it, And this is just a natural response to the way that they're feeling. When they're in that place of feeling kind to themselves, of feeling love, of feeling confident, then generosity flows from that space.
Absolutely. Last but not the least, everyone who's watching right now, what can they do immediately? A small act of kindness that will have a ripple effect and that will make themselves feel great.
I love random acts of kindness. I think they're the most incredible feeling ever, to do something for someone else and just watch the surprise unfold without them knowing that you were the one who did it. So in your workplace, for example, you can buy a candy bar or a nice treat and write a really beautiful note on it, something that will make that person really feel that they've been appreciated. And just leave it on their desk and, from a distance, watch how when they come back to their desk or they come back there, open it up and they'll just be so surprised at how did this happen, who did this for me. The other one could be you could wash someone's car without them knowing, leave a note on the window and say that you actually did this as an act of kindness. Or pay for someone's parking in the parking lot and just leave a little note. It's important to always leave a note because that person feels that then they were connected with you personally. If it's someone in your home, just do something that is a surprise for them. It could be getting them, a small gift, something that you handmade would be most amazing. Cooking them a meal, if that's not something that you always do, and do it when they least expect it.
Something that I always do, and I always see the difference, is just smiling on the people who are basically taking care of security of different buildings, offices, or even parking spaces, and just smile at them and say thank you, or just ask how are you today. It's just, they're so not used to it, and when you ask them that, the smile that they give you, and there's so much love that they have in their eyes, just makes you feel loved and makes you feel happy.
Absolutely. Ask for someone's name. Someone who you see every day. Ask what their name is and greet them by name every day with a smile. And it makes a difference to people. So your energy is infectious.
Energy is infectious.
That's true.
And we prove it time and again.
That's right.
Well, thank you for coming on this show.
Thank you, Uma.
It was so empowering to really sit here and listen to all that you have to share. And of course, there's so much more. And all the best to everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. And I just, my wish for everyone who's watching today is to start today and start now. So I'm just really happy to be here and be part of that happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.